Nigeria, we have the mangrove swamp. We have the tropical rain forest. We have the montane forests. We have the last one, savanna zones. The fifth one is what? The tundra. All right. Now, what's wrong with this one? Anyway, for the mangrove swamp is found in the tropics along the coastal regions in Nigeria. The mangrove swamp is found in states like Lagos, Edo, Delta, Rivers, and Cross River. The total annual rainfall is quite heavy and usually above 2,500 millimeters. The reason why it is called mangrove swamp, if you have been to Delta State or Edo State, you find that there's a lot of flood problem. Bayelsa. When rainfall like this, there is serious amount of flood. So any vegetation you find in that place should be able to tolerate heavy amount of water. That's why those places can't produce plants like corn. Corn is a tropical plant. It does not need too much water. It just needs relatively small. That's why the north produces the largest amount of corn. But plants like rice, that's why Ebonyi State is a big producer of rice. Bayelsa people, plants like your water lilies, your water leaf. That's why in all these vegetables like the ugu, your oha leaf, and the rest of them, you find them in the eastern part and the southern part more. That's why you see Igbo people and the Akwa Ibom and Calabar people have more food and more soups because trees of all these vegetables grow more there because they need more water. Pumpkin, yes. You want to say something? Say something if you have something to say now. All right, so the temperature.
Nigeria still has food.
I'm not saying you don't have, I'm saying vegetables. In terms of vegetables, the northern parts, apart from, what vegetable grows in the north? None. Scent leaf. Do you use scent leaf to cook soup?
Yes, my soup. Yes.
Your soup?
Yes.
Your tribal soup, only scent leaf?
Yes, it's a soup of only scent leaf.
I don't know, I've not eaten that kind of soup before. But, Pepper. Pepper is not a leafy vegetable now. It's a vegetable, it's not a leafy vegetable. So I'm talking about leafy vegetables. We have your ugu, your pumpkin. It can't grow here, except you are doing serious irrigation. You will have your water leaf. The right day I bought a water leaf, just one bond, 500 naira. Something that they sell 50 naira, 100 naira in my place. Because it's like a weed. That thing is like a weed in the east. So all those things, you'll find them in a mangrove swamp. And there are plants that you should be aware. It comes out in Jamb. The white and the red mangrove. The white mangrove and the red mangrove. These two plants. Okay. So the white and red mangrove, you find them in places like Delta. These plants.
Is it more of a plant or more of a tree?
It's a tree. They have something called what? Breeding roots. Breeding roots. And these breeding roots have something called pneumatophores. Pneumatophores. Do you know the function of these breeding roots? In the mangrove swamp, you have a higher amount of estuarine habitat. You know what's estuarine habitat? mixture of salt, fresh water, and salt water. Yes. So you find that most of the water there is kind of salty. So breeding roots, these plants, they grow very big, but the place they are found in is swampy. There is a level of amount of water and what? Small soil. So the only way these plants can survive, these roots help them by what? The roots go straight over 14 meters in the soil. No matter how weak the soil is and swampy it is. Number two, these roots allows the plant to take in oxygen and exchange gases. These same roots, pneumatophores, helps them in what? To balancing the osmoregulation of what? Salt and water. Allows them to be able to, regulate the amount of salt that enters inside the plant cell and tissues. That's the pneumatophores. So most plants found in the mangrove swamp have breeding roots. And you popularly see the bigger trees, the red and the white mangrove.
They are red and white, like physical appearance.
Yes, they are like very big, white one, then the red one. You find them in the mangrove swamp. So mostly you find them in places like Delta State.
Do they produce like fruits that are edible?
No, but they produce fruits, sha. But I don't know, the people from Delta might have used, like the other day I saw this tree here. There's some red fruit on it. I saw some women. I came here for one lesson. I saw women under picking the fruit. In my life, I don't know what that fruit is called. I don't know what it's used for. But I asked the women, they said they use it to cook soup. So just like you told me that you use scent leaf to cook soup, I've never heard of it in my life. Maybe one day you prepare the soup and give it to me to eat. I've not eaten scent leaf soup before. So every day is learning. So the next one is what? Tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforests occur in the region that lies between the equator. Those of you that do geography, you know what the equator is now?
Yes.
The equator, and it has latitude of 5 degrees to 10 degrees north and south. The areas are mainly in the lowlands. And the lowlands in Nigeria is the eastern and the southern region.
I thought Kogi was a lowland.
No, Kogi is a highland.
Oh yeah, it's true. Kenya is a highland.
Yes, like if you are coming from the east, you are going up like this. But when you are descending, you are going down like this, So the eastern part is the lowlands. And they exist in slopes. And they have a rainfall of 600 millimeters to 3,000 millimeters. So there is a high amount of rainfall in rainforest. So the rainforest zones cover parts of Ibadan. It covers parts of Ondo, Ogun, Abia State, Imo State, and some parts of rivers. So there, the climate in the tropical rainforest is very hot. Like when I went to Imo State for my wedding, I was like, Abuja sun is hot too. Like it's so bright, but it's not as hot as like if you're trekking under sun under Abuja. It's not that painful. You know that the only thing Abuja sun has high intensity. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the UV light of Abuja sun can blind you. But it's not peppery on the skin like, this sun is so hot too. Try this Hamatan. And once in a while, breeze tend to touch your skin. But if you go to Imo State, the sun does not have high UV. Neither does it have this thing, but it pains. Like it seems as if you are pouring pepper on your body. The sun is harsh. But funny enough, the sun will not make you black. But Abuja sun will black you. Will turn you very black. We know this time. So tropical rainforest, any place that is in a tropical, Ondo State is called Sunshine State. If you mistakenly go out without face cap. That's where I taught me how to use face cap.
That's why people were first.
I stayed in Ondo State for 3 years. You must learn how to wear face cap. You must learn how to wear sunshade. If not, you might end up losing your eyesight. The place is hot. Very, very hot. Sunshine State. Like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock sun like this, will be aching like as if it's Abuja 1 o'clock sun. So that's how the place is. All those tropical areas have high amount of sunlight. And that's why you tend to have what? Trees of high heights in those places, unlike the north here, whereby the average length of trees is just maybe 12 meters. You understand? So then the temperature there, you have 27 degrees Celsius. I told you now the sun have high intensity and is harsh, but temperature is what? Low. And the rainfall is high. As of December, rain was still falling in Imo State. As of December, rain was still falling. So for another place have heavy amount of rainfall. And most plants there are mostly what? Evergreen. In the north, you find what you call deciduous trees in the north. While in the eastern part, you find what you call your evergreen plants. Okay? Then there's a term I want to teach you, in case if you see it in your Jamb. There's a term I want to teach you in case you see it in your Jamb. We have your emergent trees, we have your canopy, we have your shrubs, then we have your, okay, the last one, I'm trying to remember the last one. Okay, we have your carpet. You will see these terms a lot in Jamb. How to do with forex. In forest, we have emergent trees. Emergent trees are those trees that they are the tallest in the forest. Let me use example of height. Emergent is like this. Canopy is like this. Shrub is like this. Carpet is like this. You understand? Emergent trees used to have height of 30 to 60 meters. They are so tall, you know, and they have a diameter of over 35 meters. Very big, you know, so wide. Example of an emergent tree is your Iroko. The Iroko is an emergent tree. You find it, these are terms you will see in Jamb in other biomes. Then your canopy, you have your Adansonia digitata. Adansonia digitata. You have your plants like your Euphorbiaceae. You have your plants like like a Masonia tree, and so on. These are canopy trees. They're the second tallest in the forest. Then the next one, you have your shrubs. Shrubs, example of your shrubs, you have your mango. They are short trees. You have your guava. You have your cashew tree in the forest. You have your, you know, so that short tree again, do you know? So that short tree again, do you know? Banana. Banana is not a tree, so it's a shrub. You know, banana, you have your banana, you have your plantain. You know, some oranges to be very big. I'm talking about short trees. So these are the shrubs you find. They're the second tallest. Then carpet. Carpet is when you start seeing your grasses. Your grasses like lemongrass does not grow in that kind of place. You see something like your tropical kudzu. You see your elephant grass, and so on and so forth. So this is the level of growth. This thing is determined by the plant's need for sunlight. So the canopy, the emergent trees grow as tall as almost into the sky. And they cover, the more they grow, they cover the rest trees. Most carpets don't need too much sunlight, as well as shrubs. They need just moderate amount of sunlight. They don't need too much. That's why if you go to a forest, the damp part is very dark. Sure, you know, very, very dark. All those Nollywood movies now, you see them in forests, everywhere is dark. Around evening like this, it's turning pitch black. You know, because there's no sunlight. Like in forest, now if rain is falling, and there's a lot of emerging trees, I can bet you that you can stay under the tree, no rain will drop on you. Even if it drop, maybe just drop. Because the trees canopy is covering you. Different trees are trapping that rain. You find out that you don't have any issue of rain beating you inside that forest. So these are the level of organization in forests. So we're entering the next one, which is your montane forest. Montane forest is a biome found in mountain areas. It's a biome, it's kind of a rainforest, but this time around, instead of in normal level land, it's found in where? Mountain environments. So it is characterized by what? Low temperature and heavy rainfall. And it has what? High relative humidity. What does relative humidity mean?
The amount of water vapor in the air.
Moisture now.
Yes.
Moisture in the air. So the trees in mountain forests are tall, but they are scattered, which means there's gap. Unlike rainforest that you can see 5 trees clustered together. Mountain forests, they have spread out trees. You find mountain forests in places like Obudukato Ranch, Cross River. When I went to Cross River 2018, I spent, I think, 2 weeks in Cross River. Very beautiful place. That place is like a different world. Obudu. Extreme cold. Very, very cold. The temperature there is highly cold. No mountain. Do you know, mountain area, when the weather is very hot, it used to be what? Extremely hot. When the weather is cold, it used to be what? Extremely cold. If you have lived close to a mountain environment, like my father's house in Abuja here, there is this mountain in Jukwe. You know that mountain in Jukwe? That's if you are going to phase 4 side. It's not like it's close to the mountain, but like the proximity is not that far. So at night like this, the kind wind that enters that house, I don't own the AC. The AC, I don't think we have used that AC. We only use that AC during Harmattan period because the cold is too much. So we only manage to on fan. The AC is just packed there. It's only when we want to show oppressed visitors, we on it to tell them we don't belong. But apart from that, the place is relatively cold because mountain environment used to assume coldness because the rocks, if you, those of you in geography now, rock used to attract heat. You know, the rocks absorb heat. If that environment is heat, the rock will absorb. That's why they tell you rock, lava, and volcano is formed by what? Those of you into geography now. The molten magma now. That's the breakage of the rock now. The molten magma because of what? Excess heat. Rock can split. So that you find the mountain forest in that place, and you can see apart from plants in rainforest, animals you can see in rainforest. You find your python in the rainforest. Yes, your python, different varieties of birds. You have your cheetah. You have your squirrel. You have your rat of different kinds. You have your snakes of different kinds, apart from the python. Then, what again? You have this, your leopard. You see them in rainforest. But in mountain forest, you see more of your monkeys. That time, you had a monkey that removed a girl's wig. These monkeys, they, you know, in Obudukato Ranch, the animals are not caged one place. So. The animals are allowed to roam, but inside a fenced compound. So there's a path you'll be walking. You'll be seeing the monkey on the tree looking at you. So the guard that was, giving us a tour was telling us that we should not eat banana. This girl now wants to take pictures. She bought a banana. A monkey from one tree just jumped, grabbed the banana, removed her wig. And that was the end of the wig. And the monkey kept laughing until he entered the forest. So you find out that you find a lot of monkeys, chimpanzee, orangutan, different kinds in that place. Then you find there's a mountain snake. They say it's very black. That's one bite from the mountain snake, it will not last up to 2 minutes. It will die. So it's very poisonous. They say it stays, that is over 60 meters long, very black and this thing. So you find, so I don't know. That's what I found there. Mountain snakes. Then you see a lot of wolves. There are wolves there. I think your local wolves. All these local dogs that are not turned wolf. Local dogs that are turned wolf. So at night you'll be hearing them howling. Woo! So luckily for us, they gave us accommodation inside the ranch. So we are well secured. And when we are moving, we don't trek. We use this jeep. This is a local jeep to move. So it's kind of, and the jeep has a bulletproof and I don't know, metal proof something. So in case if animal attack you, you just speed off. So then, Magdim, what is biotic and abiotic community?
Biotic is the abiotic.
Example of abiotic.
Abiotic like climate.
Example.
Rainfall and temperature.
Okay. Biotic, go.
We have the animals and plants.
And microorganisms. Okay. So now, what are pioneer community? Magdim. Pioneer community. Pioneer community. Have I taught you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now. We have a climate community, we have pioneer community. Yeah, help us out. Pioneer community. Madam, help us out.
I think this is a group of animals that first start to exist in a place or live in a place.
Animals can never be pioneer community, can never pioneer a community.
Plants.
They are the first organism, that's the word you use. The first organism that inhabits a place that have never been inhabited before is what? The pioneer community. And the organisms that can form a pioneer community are what? Microorganisms and grasses. These are the organisms that can form a pioneer community. So, a climate community, what's a climate community? A climate community is a community that have reached its full potential. In that community, you can say they are climates because they have almost exhausted all the nutrients found in that community, leading to what? Extreme competition. That's climate community. And when a climate community have reached its peak, what will happen? It will reach decline. Go school, this one they go lesson. Magdim. Anyway, the next zone we are entering is the savanna zone. So, savanna is otherwise known as what? Grassland. So when they ask you, mention a grassland zone, you should know it's the same thing as what? Savanna. So in the savanna zones, we have your tropical grasslands, often known as what? Savanna. And we have different types. We have Sahel savanna. We have your savannas. We have your savannas, Sahel, Sudan, Guinea, savannah. And all these are not the same. So, Guinea savanna is bordering the rainforest. It's the closest savanna to the rainforest and is found in the middle belt. You can find Guinea savanna in parts of Benue. You find Guinea savanna in parts of Niger State, Kaduna, Kwara, as well as Kogi State, and Abuja too. The next one is Sudan savanna. Sudan savanna is in Kano, Borno, Sokoto, Bauchi states. And the Sahel savanna is found along the Lake Chad. The average monthly temperature around this Adamawa. Adamawa is having the Sahel. Those places surrounding the Lake Chad, Taraba. The desert areas are, So the average monthly temperatures are 29 degrees Celsius during the hot season and 18 degrees Celsius during the cold season. So most of the rainfall occurs during the hot season. So from May to October, that is the cessation of what? Rainfall. In this place, yes. So savanna zones, like I told you, have deciduous plants or deciduous trees, which means because of the excess dryness, you find them to conserve water. They tend to shed their leaf to conserve water. And this, we have a classification of plants that most times stay in savanna zone. We have your xerophytes. Xerophytes, these are organisms that stay or survive in deserts or dry lands. Example is your cacti or cactus. The adaptive features, I told you different about adaptation. I told you we have functional, structural, and behavioral. So, have you finished that note? Okay. So, we have the cacti functional or structural adaptation is the pines or the things, those spines. What is the function of those spines? To prevent animals from eating it. So imagine cow passing through this desert zone. The moment he tries to bite cacti, the cow will be in serious bleeding because the tongue, the mouth, the jaw will be injured. The next one is what? The nodules. The root nodules that absorb what? Water. That water can be kept for 6 months to 1 year till the cacti is able to see any source of water. See this one here now. I'm not watering it.
So how is it going without soil?
That is the function. It can stay for a very long time. It can stay for a very long time without water. And another thing, there's water in the atmosphere. So when you close up this place now, and the weather is very, very cold, the cacti absorbs water from the atmosphere. That's why it can't die. And most of the white men, they plant all these xerophyte kind of plants in their parlor or around them. It's good. Why it's good is because it's giving you fresh oxygen. You understand? So the only thing, for you not to be too wicked, you have to be watering it even if it's small. But actually they can stay without being watered for long. So that here now we don't have that culture of conservation or planting tree or using anything. Even if you have flower in your house, it's fake. Nobody buys real flower and puts it in your parlor. I've never seen it before. It's always this fake, buy this fancy vase and put all those fake flower. That's all. All right. Then there's another thing, a factor again you should know, coniferous trees. Coniferous is otherwise known as what? The conifers. And they are found in where? The savanna zones. So now, the next one we are moving into is the Arctic tundra. The Arctic tundra is a vegetation.
Nigeria.
Yes.
Nigeria. Just.
Actually, the Arctic tundra is not in Nigeria. We only have arid lands. We have another vegetation called arid vegetation. Arid vegetation. Arid means what? Dry.
Yeah.
When it is, so a land is arid, it means what? Dry. So your arid vegetation, you can get your deserts. Deserts, you find that organisms you find in deserts, you see your scorpions, spiders, rattlesnakes, different ants of different this and then cactus and different poisonous plants. We have your Sahara Desert. That's the one we have in Nigeria, Abi. Sahara Desert, the one that is in Africa, the Sahara Desert. And it's widespread into the northeast region. Like Sokoto, you know Sokoto now? The Sahara Desert spread to parts of Sokoto, Adamawa, Taraba side. You know.
Adamawa is north.
You know.
Sokoto is northwest.
So all those places, Sokoto is more of a desert region. No, you can't find tree in Sokoto. You can't find any tree in Sokoto. It's very, very open. And that place is mostly what? Hot and dusty. If you have been to Sokoto. You know? And that arid land again you have is your what? Arctic tundra. Tundra is a zone made up of extreme cold and ice. Extreme cold and ice. So you find yourself in those kind of zones. Where do you get that kind of zone? Places like Alaska, United States. Places like that, you barely see, the lands are covered with what? Snow and what? Ice. Nothing grows there except evergreen plants, like your Christmas tree, which is a pine. The Christmas tree can survive high amount of.
The back, Mary, please. Before 7 tomorrow, please. Yeah.
Okay, so the pines.
I'm wearing uniform.
No, don't wear. Don't wear your sports dress. Don't wear.
So the pines, or you otherwise known as your Christmas tree, you find them in such arid tundra region. That's why if you are watching all these American movies, you see them, they wear their winter jackets. They go to all those places they cut. So they have somebody who will saw out the Christmas tree for them and they'll take it home and beautify it. That place is extremely cold. It's icy. You see them wearing their hand gloves and everything. Nothing grows there apart from pines and conifers. So that is the savanna zones. And that is what all the biomes you can find where in Nigeria. One more thing you should know, try to remember these emergent canopy shrubs, carpets. Remember them. Under your shrubs, your flowers. How many of you have known bush marigold? Green bush, that plant, that flower. That most times they plant in front of offices. Don't know that greenish yellow flower now. that you plant. Most times they use it to do landscape. Most schools or an organization, like if you are going towards Transcorp Hilton, they use the flower to write the name of the hotel. You don't know that plant that is green?
Yeah, I have a picture of it.
It's called Duranta erecta. Duranta erecta. Duranta erecta. So it's a shrub, mostly found in forests. It can also be a weed. It goes on its own. So I think that's what's the time? Is it time for check?
5 more minutes.
5 what?
5:05.
So remaining 5 more minutes, have you? Okay. So I believe you guys know how to do biological diagrams in practical. People still make that same nonsense mistake using labeling anyhow. It's only very few people that know what they're doing. Pure hearts. You used to make that mistake.
No,
You label anyhow.
I don't.
So
Only label and not label. I cannot go draw the name.
yeah, you can't draw. You should start practicing for your waec. So that's that for the topic. See you next class. All right. Oh yeah. Close the window, Benny. Close this window before I rip out your chest. No, thunder won't fire you. Okay, I think I thought you don't want to go home today. So people should pray for Nigeria. I'm going to watch the match. You have lost your money. Come and collect the charger, Magdim.
Okay,